That so many of us are here today is a recognition that the threat from climate change is serious. It is urgent and it is growing. Our generation's response to this challenge will be judged by history, for if we fail to meet it boldly, swiftly, and together, we risk consigning future generations to an irreversible catastrophe. These are the words President Obama used to begin his global warming speech before the United Nations Summit in 2009. The subject has certainly drawn a lot of attention. What President Obama said hits the topic that we're about to discuss. But what do you think about global warming? What is causing it? What effects does it have on Earth and the people living on it? What are the solutions that we can do to stop it? Why do we need to stop this global warming? How will it affect the lives of the future youth? These are the questions that I will be answering in this advocacy speech. According to Wikipedia, global warming is the long-term rise in the average temperature of the Earth's climate system. It is a major aspect of current climate change and has been demonstrated by direct temperature measurements and by measurements of various effects of the warming. The term commonly refers to the mainly human-caused increase in global surface temperature and its projected continuation. In this context, the terms global warming and climate change are often used interchangeably, but climate change includes both global warming and its effects, such as changes in precipitation and impacts that differ by region. There were prehistoric periods of global warming, but observed changes since the mid-20th century have been much greater than those seen in previous records covering decades of thousands years. Global warming is caused by increased concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, mainly from human activities like deforestation, farming, and burning fuels. The greenhouse effect is caused by the interaction between Earth's atmosphere and incoming radiation from the sun. We release carbon dioxide pollution into the atmosphere when we burn fossil fuel like coal, oil, and gas to create electricity or power our cars. Australians are big producers of carbon dioxide pollution compared to the other countries in the world. Our level of carbon dioxide pollution per person is nearly double the average of other developed nations and four times the world average. This carbon dioxide can affect our health and the health of all living things. Humans clear vast areas of vegetation around the world for farming, urban and infrastructure development, or to sell tree products such as timber and palm oil. When vegetation is removed or burned, the stored carbon is released back into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide, contributing to global warming. Animals, particularly livestock like sheep and cattle, produce methane, a greenhouse gas. When livestock are grazed at a large scale, as in Australia, the amount of methane produced is a big contributor to global warming. Some fertilizers that farmers use also release nitrous oxide, which is another greenhouse gas. The activities that the humans are doing is the main cause of this global warming. What effects does global warming have on the Earth and its inhabitants? According to National Geographic, the planet is warming from North Pole to South Pole. Since 1906, the global average surface temperature has increased by more than 1.6 degrees Fahrenheit, even more in sensitive polar regions, and the impacts of rising temperatures aren't waiting for some far-flung future. The effects of global warming are appearing right now. The heat is melting glaciers and sea ice, shifting precipitation patterns and setting animals on the move. Global warming has already started to affect the Earth in several ways. The effects of global warming include rising sea levels, regional changes in precipitation, more frequent extreme weather events such as heat waves and expansions of deserts. Arctic glaciers have begun to melt. threatening indigenous life such as the polar bears. Where will the polar bear live if the glaciers are melting because of the too much heat that we felt on Earth? Melting glaciers also cause sea levels to rise. This could become a problem for lowland areas like the ones in the South Sea Islands. Ocean temperatures have begun to rise. This causes some of the algae to die, which can affect the entire food chain. Crop production will be probably negatively affected in low-latitude countries. This global warming has a huge impact on Earth and all the living things living on it. What can we do to prevent global warming? It is right to stop global warming, not only for us but also for the future youth. The primary way to solve global warming is to eliminate the role of fossil fuels in modern society wherever possible. This means transitioning to renewable and carbon-free energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydro, which cause less than 3% of the greenhouse gas emission of fossil fuel energy sources. Secondarily, deforestation should be prevented and replaced with sustainable forestry and land use practices because plants breathe in carbon dioxide and store it. They actually remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The solution to reduction of greenhouse gas emission is a worldwide commitment that must be enacted across nearly every sector of industry and personal choice. Fortunately, the technology to switch to renewable energy such as solar and wind is readily available and is now cheaper in most places than energy coming from fossil fuels such as coal and gas. The switch to renewable energy will solve a large piece of the puzzle. We can act fast enough to implement. On a more personal level, we can work to prevent global warming by planting trees and by carpooling. Global warming is seen as a serious threat that is receiving serious attention worldwide. If this global warming becomes worse, this can lead to climate change and this can affect the lives of the future youth. What President Obama said in the United Nations Summit in 2009 is purely true. We can be judged by history if we fail to stop this global warming. We humans are the main cause of this global warming. Hopefully, this global warming speech has helped inform you of what causes it and the effects that it has on the earth. God gave us the life to protect His creation. We should be the one protecting it and not the one who'll destroy it. It's up to you to decide how can you help to do something about it. If you want a better world, let's help each other to recreate the beauty of our planet. Better world, good health, long life. Thank you.